Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on the 2012 Dodge Challenger, the Cobra Kai car you've seen in our previous videos. This is actually a matter of necessity, is why we're working on this today. I ended up taking it for a spin, and I was on the highway, and all of a sudden the hot coolant indicator light came on. Looked over, and the needle was all the way almost pegged. So I pulled off the highway right away, opened up, let it cool down, see what's going on. Long story short, fan wasn't coming on at all. So this has the radiator fan, has electric fan, was not coming on. Let everything cool down, limped it back home and stuff, started doing some testing. So first thing when the fan wasn't working and stuff, figure maybe a fan relay. So on this particular model there are 3 relays that all work together to control the fan. So they're under the hood here, you got one here and these 2. Looking at the part numbers, actually are all the same. So it's the same relay for all 3 of these relays. So it's the same. So how you can check a relay, we'll go over this here quick. We'll go through checking the relay. I did check all 3. They did check out fine, but I'll show you that process here. Okay, so the process for checking a relay, grab a multimeter. You're going to need a multimeter is the easiest way to do this. We're going to set this to our ohms reading right there. Get that set up. What you're going to do is we take your relay. On the back side here, it's going to have some numbers. I don't know how well you can see that there. I'm trying to focus in a little bit here. Anyhow, the one pin is going to say 85, one pin is going to say 86. That's your positive and negative terminals on your relay. So what you want to do is see if the relay is shorted out. Set your meter to ohms, take your test leads, and you're going to go to 85 to 86. You're going to get a reading. Right there I got 91.2. It doesn't matter which way your leads go on this. For this, checking the ohm reading, it doesn't matter. You just want to go through, we want to make sure we have continuity, and we're going through. Right there about 90, 91, 91.2 is what we got for reading. They say in the book, depends on which way you look it up, you want anywhere from 50 to 200. Anywhere in that range is good. Some will have a little bit tighter tolerance, or they say 50 to 150. But we're at 90, so that's good. And I already checked all 3 of these relays. All 3 relays tested good, so we're actually good there. After that, one thing that I guess is apparently very common on these cars is the fan resistor goes out. So the fan resistor, this is what it looks like here. And if you can see that, like all the insulation's kind of gone, it looks pretty rough. That right there is the actual little resistor built into this thing. This is a temperature resistor. That's all corroded. That's probably bad. Now if I had one, I could probably, unsolder this, solder one in. I know some people, a way to bypass this in an emergency supposedly is they say you can just take a piece of wire and solder a piece of wire from here over there to complete that circuit. A lot of people say don't do that because that can actually cause the whole wiring harness and the whole ECU and all that to short out. I don't want to take the chance, so we're just going to get the new one. We need one anyhow. But this here actually goes into the back side of the radiator shroud, and I'll show you what that looks like here. So right down here is where this piece goes. There's a little pocket down there that this slides into. So this goes in that pocket like so, and that senses temperature around here, and that tells the fan whether or not to run. To me, it's this is why I miss the old-fashioned vehicles with just a mechanical fan, but it is what it is. So that relay went out. This Molex plug, plugs in here to this end. Oh, you can see that. There you go. This one is a 3-pin. I went to every auto parts store in town. Went to Napa, O'Reilly's, Advance, AutoZone. I mean, you name it. Even checked at the Chrysler Center. Nobody has one of these on hand. And most of the auto parts stores, they had a hard time even trying to cross-reference it. AutoZone was actually able to finally find a part number and was able to find something, but nobody in town has one in stock, including the dealership. So that's where we are. Through the dealership, it's like $140. Through the parts store, depending on which one you go through, it's anywhere from $90 to $120 for this thing. Like I say, you can see all the stuff kind of bust off of there. Jumping online, I was able to find these for like about $15 on Amazon. So I have to wait about the same amount of time anyhow because nobody has them in stock. So rather than spending, you know, $100+ on one, I guess we're going to try Amazon and see what we got. But anyhow, that plugs in there. That's where that goes into, that Molex plug plugs into that. And then this end, this is the style I have on mine. It's like that. That plugs in down there on the back of the motor. I don't know how well you can see that here. Right back there, that plugs into the back of the motor, and that's what actually kicks the motor on. So that's where we are right now. We got to get a new one ordered. We'll get that in, and that should take care of our issue. The other thing I also did check, I forgot to mention here, is this fuse. It's a 40 amp fuse right here. I did pull that out, check continuity. That one is good as well. So you got a fuse, you got this relay, and you got these two relays. So you got 4 things under this box here in your engine compartment that control your fan. So if you have fan issues, don't necessarily think that the fan motor itself is bad. That's always a possibility, of course, but a lot of times it's a relay. That's usually the most common, but doing a lot of research on these vehicles, on the Challengers, and they use the same setup, and I think it's the Chrysler 300s. And this is from, I think, 2008 to 2020, something like that. They all use the same basic setup. I guess it's very common for these resistors to go out, and it's called a blower motor resistor, not a relay. Those are the relays. That is the resistor. One of the big stumbling blocks that we ran into trying to look this stuff up is when you start putting a blower motor. That's how it's worded in the parts diagram, but you know, to me that's not a blower motor, that's a radiator. It's for the radiator, the resistor for that, and that's how we had to finally find one to look it up. Because every time they looked up something, they were coming up some with the actual blower motor on the HVAC side for the air conditioning and the heat inside the car. And there is a relay as well. It's way different than this though. It doesn't have the pigtails, completely different, but it works, I'm assuming, probably pretty much the same way. It just senses your temperature and turns stuff on or off or regulates it. But that's what we got. I'll throw the part number in the description that I found for this, and yeah, we'll get that replaced, and that should take care of our issue. Other than that, everything else looks good. We checked our radiator fluid. That all looks fine there. We also checked the belt. I thought maybe the belt had just gotten bad and it had broken off. The belt is fine. Everything there is spinning. Is just the actual fan motor wasn't running. And